I'm not really a great fan of the Pinterest sort of site, but just occasionally it throws up something of interest, which is how I discovered this Typhoon Delta. There's a very good thread on the RC groups, which I shall link to, as always, down in the description with the rest of the components that I use, and it looked like a very interesting build. I went ahead then and, using my new plotter, plotted out the plans, and it's very simple. You can see all of the parts here, the wing, the fuselage sections, the sort of lower wing, if you like, elevator and rudder over there. Now, there was a couple of pieces additionally in the file that I was using, which is the 30% increased size model. You don't really need another one of these. This is the side of the hatch here that we're going to be cutting out, and as this piece is doubled up anyway, we're going to end up with two of those, so quite why there's one in the plan I know not. The other thing which is missing are these little winglets for the forward canard. I don't think they add very much to the model's aesthetics. Perhaps it does make a difference to its flying, but I've elected to omit those, at least for the time being. Obviously I've got myself a carbon spar to reinforce the wing there, and I've gone a slightly unconventional setup for the propeller, as the propeller is right at the back, being a pusher, rather than using a standard prop and maybe a prop saver or something. I've used a trick that I learned years and years ago, back when we were flying Zaggies in the 80s. I was a great fan of these Graupner folding props. I don't seem to be able to find these days. I've seen some, but they're really, really expensive. So if you know a good source of these in Europe, then leave me a comment down below. Essentially what I've done is to take the blades off, obviously, and reverse them, as it's going to be a pusher, and that we will see how that works out. We have a 2206 motor here, at the moment a 20 amp speed controller, which may be over the top. Going to try this sort of size of battery, I think, either the 1500 3S or 1300 3S. As always these days, my little receiver of choice here is a little LRS or Express LRS module, and I especially like these because of the telemetry. So I've just taken a pigtail off there and I plug that into the balance lead there to be able to give me the voltage. With all that out of the way then, I'm going to crack on, split the various pieces apart, finish the cutting, and we'll start the construction. I've made quite a bit of progress then. Decided on this model to tape over the surfaces to try and protect the foam. The last couple of models that I made, I didn't bother to do that, and they started to suffer hanger rash quite quickly. As always, I do a sort of mock-up to try and work out whether my COG is there or thereabouts. The important thing to note is that just where the kink is in the bottom wing is where the COG is recommended to be. If I just try that now with a battery in that position, we are there or thereabouts, with some playing around to do as usual. Got no bottom on it at the moment, but you can see that there'll be plenty of space in there to do whatever we need to do, placing the battery and the receiver and such like. I did think that the construction of the front was going to be quite weak, therefore I've made these 2mm ply reinforcing plates, as you can actually see better from below, and they extend right to the front, so clearly all of this is going to be sheeted over as well. At the business end there, I've just temporarily mounted the motor in there. I laser cut a ply plate attaching the motor there, speed controller just taped on the side, and my connections ready for the receiver there. I'm going to crack on then. I haven't quite decided what colour to do the bottom yet, but we're definitely on our way. All finished up now then, and looking fairly splendid at the moment. Vinyl cut these delta symbols to indicate the name, and one underneath there. We can see that the underneath is a rather fetching fluorescent orange. The covering is
just packing tape for the yellow and the red. At the underneath I had some of the fluorescent orange, but it was rather old, so it's quite wrinkled, but never mind. Have magnets holding the top on there, and the business end now I've upgraded to an 1800 4S pack, which should give it plenty of oomph. And once again we can see there the C of G on the kink in the lower wing. All being well, then this coming week we shall do the Maiden and see how it flies. One moment.
Launch mode. Throttle active.
Okay.
No, give me a chance.
Right this time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just a little. Well, she's flying. It's a little bit twitchier than I had hoped. I think I might try and bring her in and then adjust the expo. A bit twitchy there, yes. I think we need some expo. Well, at least we got it down in one piece, which I didn't think was going to happen when we took off. Definitely a work in progress.
Many thanks for watching.